Welcome on board, everybody. Johnny Neal, thank you, sir. Happy birth week, Marcus. That's right. I had a birthday the other day. On Saturday, March 2nd, was my 52nd birthday on our planet in this incarnation, in this lifetime. Now, of course, there's been plenty of lifetimes before, and of course, there's probably, maybe, gonna be a bunch more. But on this lifetime journey, it was my 52nd birthday the other day on Saturday, and it was a beautiful day. I got to do some sits with some clients that I do almost every day, where I sit with people, and I also got to just enjoy my day. I got to take it really easy, and I got to relax a lot, and pretty much do some sits and sit with myself and have a good, beautiful day. And it was very relaxing and very uh, re-enlightening. Uh, I got to relax a little, and it was very nice. So I hope you're doing well. Ellie K, there you are, dear sister. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, birthdays are interesting, huh? We I'm always what happens for me is the reflection of the fact that I get to walk this earth still. And for me, it's it's a not something I absolutely do not take for granted. I've been through kind of a lot of things throughout my life. There's been many. When I talk about timelines, which I talk about every now and then, there has been many timelines playing out in this one lifetime. And these timelines have been of different varieties. Some have been filled with a lot of heavy, heavy darkness, and much violence has also been a part of my life, which is so kind of it's not random, of course, but it seemed random when I knew myself as a child, as a kid. I would not have expected the kind of life that has happened throughout my lifetime. And I've been so for me the dark times that I went through, quite a few of them were very much life ending, and I have never expected that I got to walk this walk for this long. So I'm very excited and very happy and grateful that I get to be here one more day and one more year. And of course, as always, there are no guarantees, but I am grateful I get to be here. And I'm very grateful that I get to share this moment in time with you, that I get to sit here with you on these lives that we are doing every week. And we're a small, budding community of spiritual seekers and finders who just enjoy this heart space that we are sharing. And it's a beautiful experience, of course. For me, it's beautiful to sit with you on these evenings. There's a lot of love in the air, right? As we open up our hearts, there's a lot of love. And when we, but when we look around, there are also many forces that are shifting out of those love frequencies. So one of the rebellious acts that you and I can do is to sit in our love. It is to sit in our open heart space and to open up our hearts to the best of our ability so we can shed the layers that life has kind of, in a way, forced us to put on these layers of defense mechanisms that all of us have to different degrees. In the Toltec traditions, they call it the false self, and they call the fear that makes us put on these false selves They call that the parasite. The parasite that grabs us in the heart or in our nervous system or up and down our spine and makes us shut down, makes us harden ourselves, makes us get much, much more in a war setting and a more of a fear-based life path. And these sessions that I sit here with you in this sacred space are all meant to help us go deeper within, help us find more of our own inner truth. And that sort of leads us into today's theme of to thine own self be true. So, as we sit with this, the thought and the saying of to thine own self be true, which in my world was always something biblical, but it turns out that if you do any research on it, it comes out of Shakespeare, out of Hamlet. And it's, of course, Shakespeare is one of the writers that, if anybody has added so many sayings into our world, there are many different philosophers and writers have added sayings into our world, but Shakespeare is responsible for so many of these sayings. So, to thine own self be true. But the interesting thing is that, so he wrote it in a play, but it has an extremely deep spiritual significance. There was a video I just put out called Know Thyself. And to thine own self be true is sort of a continuation of know thyself. So, to thine own self be true. We are also going to move into a bit of a root chakra healing here today. But to thine own self be true has this very, very deeply resonant feeling. And when you sit with those, the words and the meanings of it, we start to recognize that, wait a second, to myself be true, my own self. What is that? Who is this, my own self? And as we dive deep within, we first come to that space. Well, maybe not first, but we do come to the space of when you and I experience these moments of absolute stillness and bliss, we are also experiencing being a part of the whole. We feel that sense of separation leaving us. The sense of isolation and loneliness completely vanishes as we enter into our inner sanctuary and into our heart space. And we begin to find that sense of self that was here before the parasite grabbed us, right? The parasite came into our lives sometimes very early and sometimes a little bit later. But at some point, the parasite of our world, our community, our society showed up in our lives. And it told us we need to be this way or that way in order to be accepted, in order to be okay. And to a certain degree, there is, of course, a lot of learning to do as we grow up, as we become adult human beings, fully embodied. But there's also many places where there are traps, right? Along the way, we fall into these traps of fear. We fall into these traps of, well, in order for me to be okay, I have to act this way, or I have to sell out the parts of myself that I believe to be true. And many, many, many times when we walk this walk, when we really look within ourselves and then we look at our relationships and we look at our friends or we look at people around us or in a work situation, we may be able to see where we sell out, where we give up on our truth. And as we see that, it is not to say that we have to go out there and always be, I'm going to be a rebel and I'm going to completely go against the grain of everything I'm involved with. That is not what we have to do. But we have to start to recognize, what is our true self? What does it say? What does it want? What does your higher self tell you when you listen within? When you sit in that heart space and you feel yourself filled with spirit, you feel yourself full of life, what does your heart tell you? And can you, through the course of your life, begin to move closer to what your heart is telling you? This is not that we have to completely right away jump in and I'm going to be only this now, but it is to listen within and begin to find what is your inner truth. When do you feel like you vibrate at your highest? When do you feel mostly empowered? When do you feel mostly aligned? And when we find how to feel aligned, how to feel like, oh, I feel like I'm actually on track right now, can you listen within and see what those moments are? When do you feel mostly aligned? And can you arrange your life over time with an intention so that you get closer, so you can live closer to that intention, right? Sometimes it means that we move fully into a healing space, and maybe it means that we become healers. But it could also mean that you listen to your heart's desire of a certain trajectory, a certain job, a certain career, a certain life setting, a certain family setting. If you are feeling the need to have children in your life or the need to express yourself in different ways, what is your deepest truth? And how can you be true to that? Can you move yourself closer to that? And for me, when I recognize what it is and I recognize how I can move closer to it, it makes my heart it fills it with joy. It fills it with like, oh, I feel so good. I feel so aligned. And one of these ways is of course what we're doing in these sessions. In my case, it's one of the things that is in my calling is to sit with people and share how we can find our way into ourselves and how we can grow spiritually, how we can be true to our own selves. But there are other desires in my heart, at least, that I'm also working towards, and it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see that one thing does not have to exclude another thing. That as long as we stay present and in a state of what you could call faith or trust, where we do the next indicated thing in front of us, and we start to feel this feels not in alignment or this does feel in alignment. How do we move closer to that? It's a beautiful experience, and it's a beautiful way to embody yourself and your spirit, right? Because if one way of looking at it is your desires are actually God-given. And of course, sometimes these desires can be out of whack because we have a chakra system, an energy system that is not balanced. So then we feel like we have to take in these, we do things to excess because we feel a lack somewhere. But as we move past that, as we first recognize, oh, I'm doing that to excess, when I move into my higher self, when I move into that truth in my heart, how can I begin to move and shift my life into that trajectory, that timeline? How can I feed that wolf within me? Right? Remember that story. What wolf in our system do we feed? Do we feed the good wolf or the bad wolf? And the bad wolf is, of course, that one that's full of anger, negativity, maybe gossip, maybe we talk about other people, maybe our mind runs all the time of criticism. How do we move into releasing that and finding our way into our hearts and into our life force energy? Because it's very, very imperative for this journey that we begin to find when do I feel aligned and how do I feel aligned? And then we start feeding that part of ourselves. And it can be as simple as if you find that you love going to sound baths, do more of it. Fill your life with that. Or if you find you love growing herbs or you love putting your hands in the soil, do more of it. If you find that you love spending time in the outdoors, do more of it. Whatever it is that fills you up, however that is, right? Now, of course, it's not to say that we are not in some ways meant to actually sustain a lifestyle that works for us as well, where we have to be. And in this 3D matrix, there are places where it is healthy to feel like we are being self sustaining, that we are being basically responsible for our own well being. But how can I fill my life up with that spark of spirit? How can I fill myself up with that inner love? And it is beautiful, right? Because then you move into that feeling, oh my God, I know what the desire is in my heart. I know what that love feels like. But I also, in my case, and I believe that could be true for a lot of people, we can feel insecure about many things. And we can feel maybe unstable in life. I felt unstable for so many years. And what that had to do with was an unhealed and blocked root chakra. And as we move into the root chakra, you may start to feel either discomfort. Root chakra is located around your genitals at the base of your spine by the bottom of the tailbone, and also around the genitals, like I said, and around the butt and all of that stuff. Now, if you can feel into your system, and you might feel like you are unstable in that area, you might feel a worry, a sense of worry, or you may feel like, oh, I do feel pretty stable in that space. One of the healing versions of our root chakra, how to strengthen is, and I say this often, right, is to grow roots into Earth Mother, is to recognize the magic and the power of our own planet, our home, our Earth Mother. And this is where, when we start growing roots into Earth Mother, we feel a shift in the root chakra. We feel like, whoop, something happens. And as we start filling ourselves up with that life force energy, your root chakra starts to heal. Now, there can be traumas stuck in that area, especially if we've had abuse early in our lives. If there's been abuse before the age of 7 or so, it has affected our sense of stability in life. And at times we need to see healers, but we also can do a lot of the work ourselves, either with self-healing, Reiki, self-energy healing, or growing roots in meditation, and also holding that little person. Because sometimes when you feel into it, the traumas that are hiding in that chakra, welcome aboard the people who came on board. Um, when you feel into your root chakra and you feel that there are blocks, at times it'll come up within you as a memory, as an image. Oh God, I remember when that happened. Oh, I remember when that happened. And sometimes we first feel the fear that's connected to it. But if we are able to sit in meditation through it, then we're also able to hold that little version of ourselves in a lot of light and in a lot of power and compassion. Mm. Compassion and light and love for that little piece of ourselves that is stuck many years back, right? And this is trauma that, like a lot of us in the modern world, we think that if our parents were to change, we would feel better. Or if only these people treated us better, we'd feel better. But the funny thing is that or funny or ironic thing when it comes to our inner healing journey is that we need to heal our traumas. We need to sit with our inner blockages in the chakra system and especially in the root chakra. And as we start then also using our breath, right? Because that's the other part of this method of healing, is to breathe, we take deep breaths deeply into the root chakra. And if you can feel that there is tightness, if you feel that your nervous system is like tight, your muscles are tight in your root chakra, you may recognize that could be a sign that something is hiding in there. Some kind of memory, something undigested, some form of a trauma that we have not dealt with, we have not felt into. And as we then learn to sit with it and we hold space for ourselves, we hold space for that trauma. And this doesn't mean that we are making it go away. Because when we force something out of our system, it's nothing different than what we've done our whole lives. We have put the lid on. But when you can sit and hold that little piece of yourself in love and light and warmth and compassion and safety and security, and you can see that, yes, of course, it was hard for the little person to experience these things. It was very, very difficult to go through those things, and anybody who went through similar things would have the same sort of trauma, at least something similar. So we start showing ourselves that love and compassion that we would for an injured friend or an injured squirrel or an animal. We would show love and compassion. And when we can do that for ourselves, we begin to heal that part that was injured. And sometimes it requires to feel into our sadness. Sometimes it requires to feel into the fear and the trauma and the hurt and the negativity. But we do not have to become those feelings. We don't have to be overtaken by them. Because when we do this in meditation, we're able to stay connected to that deep sense of grounding and to our higher self and the higher influences that are coming in to help us on this journey. There are many helpful spirits around us that are just waiting for you to open up, just waiting for you to listen to what they're trying to communicate to us. And as long as we sit in sacred space and we're sitting in a healing inner space, the guidance we receive is going to be beautiful. Some people have a opening up, an energetic opening up, or attachments that come in when they try to open up that is negative, of a negative form. And that is, of course, not spirit coming through. That is negative entities and energies that are roaming our earth, that are trying to find a way to embody themselves again, to feel connected to earth again. And those are the ones that we want to help remove. We want to help them pass on, move on, leave our system alone because they don't have a right to be in our system. They don't have your permission to be stuck in you. And the same thing goes for the traumas. We start to heal it because, first of all, because we're not going to be able to move on in our lives as long as our chakras are out of alignment. We're not going to have the power. We don't have access to the power. And especially this is true for the root chakra and the sacral chakra, but we are talking about the root chakra today. And the root chakra going back in deep into our body, feeling the relaxation that can come when we breathe space into it, when we breathe light into it, helps to heal the contracted nervous system that is around our different chakras. So, and the interesting as well, no matter how deep the trauma is, because some of us have gone through very intense traumas, no matter how deep it is, there's nothing that can't get better from conscious, intentional healing. Will it heal completely? We don't know that yet. But we know that we can get so much stronger. And the root chakra symbolizes stability in life. It symbolizes a sense of both stability and strength, inner strength, and being comfortable in life. And for the ones of us who are not, the ones of us who are either we struggle financially all the time, or we struggle with feeling strong and grounded. And of course, one way of looking at it, if you struggle a lot with feeling secure, then it's easy to recognize that we put on faces, that we put on a false sense of self in order to cover up those insecurities. But when we move into the insecurity and we start breathing into it, we start to feel safer and we start to feel more whole. And as that feeling then enhances in our system, we gain more power, we gain more health, and life force energy can flow through us stronger. And suddenly, we are in a new, intentional, both timeline and trajectory. And it's very beautiful. As long as we stay both with our meditation, with our sense of life force energy in our body, that trajectory becomes an upward building spiral where one thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next. And it gets better and better and better. And the same goes for if we choose to not sit with our healing, if we choose to keep escaping, then the spiral becomes deeper and deeper until we're willing to sit and face what's in our system, until we're willing to look inwards, within. There is a bija or a sound connected to the, or mantra, we could call it a mantra, connected to the root chakra. And there are also different mudras connected to the different chakras. One of them, taught to me by my shaman teacher, is that we hold our hands, we hold the fingers. We actually, this time we don't have open hands. We close our hands, put our pinkies together, pinky with a thumb, close the hand, put them on your knees, and you focus your intention into your root chakra and come with me here, come with me here. And you use a word, it's VAM, V-A-M. And we're going to do it 3 times together. You're going to hold your hands in the mudra, and we're going to do that. We're going to focus our intention on the root chakra. We're going to say the word VAM 3 times and follow along with me when I start it. It's going to sound like this. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it together. And I want you to focus your intention on your root chakra. So let's do it together now. I'm going to do one more time. Take a deep breath. One more time. And I would suggest that you do this in your morning meditation 3 times like we just did, every day for a week. Next week, we will be going through the sacral chakra. We'll look at what sounds are connected to that, what hand gestures are connected to the sacral. But today it was the VAM. And you may not feel anything right away, or you may. But the effect is pretty interesting. It's a little bit of an effect over time that over time helps you to just balance out the root chakra. And as long as you focus your energy on that part of your body, the mantra, the sound works wonders. And with that, because here's the other thing, the last part, and then we're going into the healing. When we are doing the Vam for the root chakra, and the root chakra begins that healing journey, we breathe space into the root. We grow roots into Earth Mother. We start to become and gain a sense of who we actually feel we are. There's an energy coming through us that's stronger than before. And that helps us to be true to our own self. To thine own self be true. There's actually one last thing of that. When it comes to being true to yourself, this was longer than I thought it would be. So, when it comes to being true to yourself, we learn this thing of, I usually tell the story, and I've probably shared it here before, but I will share it again. The story of when you're on the airplane and the oxygen mask comes down. If the air pressure drops in the cabin, right? Then there's an oxygen mask that automatically drops down in front of you. My old programming used to be, if the mask drops, before I put it on myself, I'm gonna put it on, if there's a child or an older person, somebody who can't do it on their own, I would always make sure to help the other person. That was my thought. I would never put it on myself first. I would always try and put it on the other person first. What I didn't understand when I sat in that frequency, because I did a lot of things in my life with that. I pulled people out of burning cars. People died in those cars that we pulled them out of. And me and this other guy who did it, we almost blew up ourselves. Like it was seconds from blowing up. And when those situations happened, or I ran into homes with guns out, or I ran after people who had guns, like things of that nature, I did a lot of things that were not very it was like a very little sense of security for the self. And what I didn't understand, if we go back to the airplane and the oxygen has dropped, right? So the oxygen mask comes down. If I don't put it on myself first, I may not get a chance to help the other person, because I may run out of oxygen faster than I thought. I may just not go out cold, like get knocked out. And if I did get knocked out and there's a child next to me, and I wasn't able to help them because I was thinking I'm going to help them first, we both may end up dying because I thought that I need to help them before myself. And of course, when it came into self-love, self-worth, healing, I realized that, of course, I got to put that mask on myself first so that I can help the kid next to me. Because if I don't put it on my face first and can breathe, I may not be able to help them. And 2 people are dead instead of 2 people are alive, because I didn't fill up my own cup first. So to thine own self be true has so much to do with your own inner healing. And suddenly it made sense to me why they said you can't love other people if you don't love yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. Of course, that became a very true statement in that moment when that realization hit me. That of course, I won't be able to help anybody if I'm still struggling so deeply myself. So the self-healing, to thine own self be true, also means be true to you. It's the only truth we truly can explore. Because we don't know what's true for another human. We don't know. We know what's true on a certain level of reality, but we don't know what their soul contract is. We barely know our own, right? So when we start to fill ourselves up with love first, that's when we start to shine and other people can feel that. And that's genuine. That is truthful. That comes from your inner self, from your higher self. And as we are aligned with the higher self, now we're shining into the world. Like we put the oxygen mask on ourselves and we can share it with others. We couldn't if we didn't, right? So that's where the healing of the root chakra is also extremely important. It's important to heal ourselves, not the other person, not the spouse, not the parent, not the sibling, not the friend, ourselves. To thine own self be true. So, with that, we're going to go into the healing session. And I would like for you to see if you have an intention that you would like to work on. If there's anything you'd like to remove, release out of your life, or get stronger in. Or we are going to focus the energy both on the root chakra and to support the rest of the system. There are many things that can shift from a healing or healed root chakra. We can't build a building on a if you're going to build a high house and the soil is really shaky. You can't build a strong building on shaky ground. And that goes for our chakra system as well. If our root chakra is shaky, uncertain, unstable, the rest of the chakra system is going to feel that. And we're going to try and overcompensate with the other chakras so that we feel safe. But in reality, we have to sit with the root chakra because that's the base. That's the bottom. So, dearly beloved, I ask of you to open your heart. I ask of you to breathe deeply into your body, to set an intention for this session, this healing part, and allow me to work with your system. With your permission, we will work with your energy. Alrighty. We're going to open up sacred space. You just take in this healing. We're going to clear the space and we're going to set the tone, creating sacred space. am Shaman Marcus, some of the tribe of kings and queens of old. We're most grateful to sit here with you today. It is such a beautiful experience. We get to fill ourselves up with the elixir of life, life force energy. We're inviting the winds of the south, represented by the serpent, the feminine healing powers of our world, to come here and hold sacred space for us and to activate the deepest level of healing in every part of our body, especially the root chakra and up. We invite the winds of the east, the condor, the eagle, and the dragon, to come here and guard our sacred space and to guide us into the realm of the unseen. Then we have the winds of the north, represented by the raven. And the raven is the sacred sage of our world, the all-knower of all things. We ask that the raven come here and hold sacred space for us and activate the deepest level of knowing in every part of our body, in every part of our DNA. In the physical body, in the emotional body, in the mental body, in the energy body, and in the spiritual body. We ask that the raven hold the sacred vibration, the highest vibration. And then we have the winds of the west, represented by the jaguar. The jaguar is the holy warrior of our planet, and we ask that she lend us her courage into our hearts, the ferocity and the wild energy of the jaguar. And also that she guard our space from the direction of the west. Then we have Earth Mother, Pachamama, and Father Sun, Father Sky, whose loving embrace we feel like gravity, like a warm blanket. We're supported by the warmth of the sun. We have Saint Michael with the sword of light, sword of truth. We ask that Saint Michael come here and help us cut the cords when they can be cut for the highest good of all involved. And that with that sword of light, that we get to see our own truth, to ourselves be true. And then we come to Stangl the dragon, Maya the wolf, and Beo the bear. Our power animals who are here to facilitate the healing and to guard our sacred space. We also call on the spirit guides, Sam and his brothers, to come here and guard our sacred space, to guide us into the realm of the unseen, and to facilitate the healing here today. We have the tribe of kings and queens of old. We're so grateful we get to be a part. We have Umbuti and her loving, supportive energy. We have the ancestors and the friends and the family on the other side of the veil, keeping a watching eye over us, almost like guardian angels on the other side, nudging us with little intuitive knowings, thoughts of them. Then we have life force energy itself. And we come into the ascended masters of our planet, the loving energy of Jesus himself in our hearts. And then we have the other ascended masters over the ages, the different gurus, the different teachers, the different shamans. And lastly, we come to the Norse. We come to the power and the power and wisdom of Odin, the creative life force, the dance of life itself of Freya, Thor's courage and strength, Loki's intelligence, mischievousness, and tenacity, And then we have Stafner and Rafner, our allies, and Hugin and Moonin, our friends. And we have all of you. Toyo wa ke toyo taiyo wa hiyo to taiyo wa te toyo wa te yo 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 Ea. Eo yo 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 tai. Deo gogo taia deo wahia deo wahia. Taio gogo taia deo wahia deo. Taio ea. Taio. Deo. Taio. Taio. Eo. Taio. Hey Taio. Ayo go to daya deo wahi o to daya deo. Deo wa eo. Iya. Doyo yo yo doyo 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 wai ya 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 o wai 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 o wai. Namateo yo do yo do dai yo wai yo 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 yo. Yo yo. I am Shaman Marcus. I'm of the tribe of kings and queens of old. And I'm very, very grateful that we get to sit here in this healing space, in this sacred space. Together, we create this beautiful field of healing, this journey. Why? We give great thanks to the winds of the south, to the winds of the east, the winds of the north, the winds of the west. We give great thanks to Earth, Mother, Pachamama, Father Sun, Father Sky. We say thank you to Saint Michael with his sword of light, sword of truth. Say thank you to Stangl the dragon, Maya the wolf, and Baal the bear. For the healing, and the sacred space. We say thank you to Sam and his brothers, our spirit guides, for the healing and the space and the guidance. And to the tribe of kings and queens of old, to Om Buddha and her loving, loving, loving energy, to the ancestors and the friends and the family on the other side of the veil who are keeping a watching eye over us, to life force energy itself, to the ascended masters with Jesus in our hearts and everyone else who come in, all the masters that are present with us, Maua Yakateo, and to Odin and Freya and Thor and Loki, and to the helpers, to Stafner and Rafner, and to Hugin and Moonin. And to you, to you. Our chant. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om. Ellie K, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sierras and Sunsets, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Johnny Neal, thank you. And whoever else is coming on board, thank you for the comment. The Om, Om, Om comment, thank you. I'm very grateful we get to sit in this sacred space together. The lightning outside, oh my God, that's beautiful. You had lightning going on at the same time. That's so awesome. I love the forces of our Earth Mother, of our nature. So much power. So throughout this week, sit with your root chakra. Do the VUM, VUM. Sit with it and see how you feel after a few days, after a little bit of time with it. And next week, we will do the sacral chakra and what's connected to that. So much love, everybody. So much love. I'm so grateful. Namaste and aho. See you next week. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.